What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. You got Brenner hosting, as is every week. We got Riley, we got Spoon joining us this week. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody's week going?
It's going.
Pretty good, man. I just got off the golf course like literally 15 minutes ago. So
All right, well, a
not
little
as good
golf,
as you can. Yeah.
a little golf, a little work, a little bit of everything going on. So we've had a huge week so far, and in a kind of a dead period. We had the NFL owners meeting. We had a few signings go down, a couple other things. So we're gonna get right into things. First things first, the NFL owners have officially banned hip drop tackles. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I think it's being misrepresented a lot, and we'll have some videos to show you guys for the YouTube audience, but I think it's not that big a deal. Like, players are like chomping at the bit saying how this is fucking everything up and how terrible this is. I don't think it's that bad. What do you guys think?
I think it is a big deal only because I do not trust the referees to differentiate how the rules are read.
That's fair.
No, I 100% agree. I understand what they're trying to do because they're like the hip tackle injury is what injured Mark Andrews.
Yep.
So I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to limit injuries, but at the same time, it's like you're continuously pulling ways to tackle away from the DBs, the linebackers, from everyone. Because already now it's like, hey, we got to watch how hard we hit these guys, otherwise it's too hard. You know what I mean? And now you're also pulling out hip tackles, so it's like, okay, eventually, like,
how can I hit him?
Exactly. It's like, how can I hit them? And I understand that, like, I've been on Twitter all day. And they're going away with this. And one of the big things I'm seeing on Twitter is like, okay, well, like, how the fuck are we supposed to tackle these guys if we're running side by side with them? And I get that, because a lot of the people, the proper way to tackle is that you wrap around, grab them, and then pull them to the ground, which is essentially the hip drop. And back to what you were saying about the whole penalty thing is that this could just, like, I saw it on the Pat McAfee show the other day. It was either yesterday or the day before. Same thing. This could decide games.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
I was talking to Riley off air, and I told him it's going to come down to a 4th and 20 for the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes hits Travis Kelce for 18 yards, hip drop tackle, first down Kansas City, kick a field goal, win the game, and people are going to lose their shit.
Absolutely. And it's gonna be questionable calls too. And it's like, okay, we're putting two. It comes to the whole like point of like, oh, like refs can decide games. Absolutely. If you keep giving them this much, and I'm not saying
power.
that they do. I'm just saying exactly. If you give them this much power to where they can decide games, why the fuck would you not?
Yeah.
Especially, isn't the NFL the only major sport without full-time refs?
Yes. Of the 4 major sports in North America, yes.
Yes. And there's
but granted, the other sports have, like, 8-month-long seasons. The NFL's is 16 games. NBA refs are doing 82 games. Same with NHL refs. MLB refs are doing 180 games a season. Like, those refs are doing so much more than NFL refs are.
I understand what they're trying to do by limiting the injuries, but at the same time, like, man, it's, the fact that it was unanimous is what really shocks me. That's what really threw me off.
I got a couple videos. Are you
kidding me? Like, there's no coaches or execs that don't want this to happen.
So I got
that's what threw me off.
So I got a few here. I got a few videos here for you guys from Twitter of an example of a hip drop and would be a penalty, and an example of what people think is a hip drop and would be a penalty, but it is not. So I'm going to share my screen here over to Twitter. So everybody's seen this play, right? DK Metcalf chasing down Budda Baker. This is not a penalty. That is not a penalty under the new rules. This is still perfectly acceptable. There would be no flag here because he does not land on the opposing player's legs. So in the rule, in the actual rule, Article 18, hip drop tackle, hip hop tackle.
But here's my question: under the new rule, could a ref throw a flag here? Like, if they throw a flag?
Hold on. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm just
Okay,
saying, if
so
they did.
it is a foul if a player uses the following technique to bring a runner to the ground. A, grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms, and, it is key, and unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and tripping the runner's trapping the runner's legs at the knee or below.
But if you watch this video, he is landing on.
No,
his
he is not.
Right.
He's landing
yes, he is.
to the left.
Watch his right leg. His right leg
He lands
comes back.
on the left side of the receiver.
But I get that. But his right leg pops back and he lands on it. So I'm just saying that
He doesn't land on his leg.
Yes, he does. Watch.
No, he
his
doesn't.
right leg.
I'm
Right leg
agreeing.
pops back.
I'm agreeing with Spoon here. He
Yeah,
pulls
see,
his
right
right
there.
There's
side down.
nothing. His
No,
leg is
you
not
you
underneath him.
literally just pause it. His right
But his
leg.
leg gets out of the way.
That's
Look,
literally. You're pointing at his foot right there. That is his foot. That's
That's
under
the
there.
shadow of DK Metcalf's ass, bro.
What? Just watch it again. His foot, his right leg
Hold on, we
pops
can do
under
it.
DK.
Can you slow mo this?
No, I can't. It's a GIF. I can't slow mode it.
There's one frame that it's you can see.
Yeah, watch right
So
there.
his leg,
He-
he does
yes.
not land on it. Watch. It's out from underneath him. His ass would be up in the air if his leg was underneath him. It would
Okay, and
look
a
like
ref
that.
calls that a penalty. Who's going to argue with it? Because it looks legit. He lands on his leg.
But he
it
doesn't
looks like
land on
he-
his leg.
Well, we're both sitting here saying that it looks like he
Look,
lands on
look,
his
leg is in the air. How is his leg
Now
just
it
under
is.
him? Well, but how is his leg? Watch. Let's see
He
if we can
literally
get this.
lands on his leg. Look at it, dude.
Hold
Right
on.
there.
No,
Spoon,
See, look,
Spoon,
it's
slow
there.
down. Slow
He's
down.
not. That's
So,
his
Brenner.
foot right there on that side of his thigh. That's on the
Brenner.
top side of his thigh.
When he goes to bring him down, he turns the runner a little bit, and then his side almost lands on his foot. But then when he rolls, he frees himself.
Yes, watch. He land right there. He is landing on his leg right
look.
there.
Look,
His
see
right leg's
ass?
still on the ground. That's where his leg was. He's landing right where his leg was. That's
Spoon,
what I'm saying.
How is his foot going into the ground, into the turf? Is it disappearing into the turf? Because that's the only way his ass could be.
Because
flush to
DK
the
is
ground.
covering it. You can't
It's-
see it. DK is literally landing right where his right leg just landed.
His
Is
foot's
that-
not this
at?
thin. His foot's not
I'm
this
just-
thin.
I'm
His
just
foot
saying
is
that-
this thick.
See,
That's
if
not
we're
disappearing.
this is my point. If we're arguing about this right now,
So here, hold
this
on.
is
hold
what
on.
refs are going to be fucking.
This is a penalty. This
Yes.
is a penalty.
that would
that,
be I
that would be a
agree.
penalty.
Well,
That
you
is
can
what
see
they're
it from that
talking-
angle, but you can't see it from the other angle. From the other angle that you're showing me, it
Let's see,
100%
let's
looks like a
scroll through
penalty.
Twitter here. Let's-
Is this?
Oh, this is
Is
not a
this-
hip drop tackle. Watch. So watch. That everybody's been saying, "Oh, this would have been a hip drop tackle." That's not a hip drop tackle. He's not
rolled.
landing.
Right, he's
on the
not. He's
feet.
not landing on his legs. I
So
see what
like
you're saying
everybody
here.
would have been
Yes.
1 yard short was a hip drop tackle. No, it was
No.
not. This was
It-
not a hip drop.
Is this call reviewable?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's-
don't know.
I
Let's
think
see.
that would
Honestly,
be
a
a
great
bigger.
fucking question.
If it
No,
was
no.
reviewable, I think it would be a lot less of a stink. Because then, like, even when I was
No.
when
This is
I
fine.
watched that,
Yeah, you
Here, I
can
got
pause
I
it.
got you.
Go ahead, pull
Hold
it
on
up.
here. Is there a playback? Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Go ahead, watch. His right leg kicks under DK.
Oh, too far. Too far.
Right there. He lands
No.
right. Yes. He
Cooter.
literally just hit his leg
Spoon.
going down.
Spoon, watch this.
Right there. Yes, he lands. He's right there on it. What the fuck are
So
you telling me?
you can still see the foot. There's no way the foot is underneath him because his
Dude.
knee isn't pointing this way. His knee is going straight into the ground. Look, watch. See, look at
he
his leg.
goes down
Look how
on
his leg is almost at his at
Now
his-
it is.
But it's
You're like half a yard back from where he landed.
oh my god, dude. There's no chance.
Yes, he lands on it right there. You just see it. He hits his leg right there.
He hits his-
it,
yes,
and he hits it
yes.
again right
Look,
there. He's
look, that
landing
right there.
on his
So-
leg.
I agree. Right there,
Dude.
he has the foot is right there, okay?
Yes,
His knee
and he's
moves.
landing right. And
But
if
it-
this is what we're
it doesn't
arguing
land
about
on
right
it.
now,
It
this is what the
moved.
refs are going to be fucking arguing
but
about
Brenner,
next
Brenner,
season.
by-
The leg
Crazy.
moves before
Brenner.
DK's body lands on
So
the leg.
what do-
Well, I don't. by the rules, he freed his leg, but his foot was trapped under his hip at one point during the tackle.
But it
Is that
wasn't
a call,
trapped
or-
under
That's
there.
what I'm
He
saying.
didn't land on it. The foot moves out of the way before the body lands, is my point. He does not land on the leg. The leg is directly under the body while the body's in the air, and then the leg, body, leg.
Yes.
That
Now
happens.
let's
So
now
the body
let's
hits the
say-
ground, the leg is out from underneath him before the body hits the ground.
Dude.
That is not a penalty.
but
Under
let's
the
say
new
they
rule,
called
by
that.
the rule.
They should make these calls reviewable, because when you watch it
Have
full
to.
speed, me and Spoon both thought that it was a hip drop by
It
the
looked
rules,
like
but
it 100% looks like it.
they should make it reviewable.
I agree it should be reviewable. I don't know if it is reviewable. But yeah, so I agree. Like we said, this is gonna be an issue. We all three know it is. I think players will be able to tackle still, and I think they'll
Yes.
figure out ways around it. I don't think it'll be a big a deal from the player standpoint, but obviously it's going to be an issue because look at the three of us. We were just going round and round and round about it.
Yes.
But like not every like the 1 yard short play for the Titans in the Super Bowl, right? That wasn't a hip drop, and people think it is because they think of wrapping up around the waist. But you also have to land directly on the player from the knee down.
So let's say someone alligator rolls him like that Tennessee play we just watched.
Yeah.
But he does manage to land on his.
Then
He-
it's a
he
penalty.
He didn't drop. He alligator rolled.
But he has to
He didn't.
unweight himself, so he has to make himself airborne and land on the leg.
Okay.
That's part of the rule. It says unweight himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that is part of the rule. So yeah, that's going to be an issue. Obviously, we're
The
going
more,
round and round
honestly,
about
the more and more we talk about it, the more and more I hate it.
it.
Let's move on. Because at first
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, hey, you know what? I get it. Like, I
So
understand
we're
it.
gonna
but
move-
the more
yeah,
we talk about
yeah.
it,
We'll
fucking
move
hate
on.
it.
We'll move on to a couple rumors I've been hearing. I've been hearing that there's a lot of smoke going around the owners' meeting that JJ McCarthy could go number 2 overall. Do you guys think this is just a smoke screen? Hold on. We're not going to get too deep into this.
no,
Smoke
we
screen,
don't need to.
or is that a real thing?
I think it's definitely a smoke screen.
Spoon?
You ready?
Yeah.
So I was reading something earlier, and it wasn't from anybody. Like, it's just Twitter talk. That's all it is.
Yes.
And I read it, and I was like, I 100% agree. Whoever JJ McCarthy's hype man is, he needs a fucking raise. I'm just gonna say that because yes, JJ
But his hype
McCarthy,
man is just the film.
He
It's just
doesn't.
the
No,
film.
it's not. No, it's not just the film. It's also
It's
John
just the film.
Harbaugh. John Harbaugh
Yes.
fucking going in and hyping him up too.
You
So
mean
there's
Jim
one.
Harbaugh? Jim
Or
Harbaugh.
Jim, yeah, not John. Sorry,
Yeah, Jim
Jim
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh going in and hyping him up too. That's that's what's helping these execs be like, oh, maybe we should look at this guy now. Hey, maybe we should actually be paying attention to him.
Well, but
I'm
that's
just-
what got him there.
I'm
In
just-
the hold on. That's what got him like the first round, like late first round grade in the first place was Harbaugh. And then people are like, well, let's take a look at the film. And that people are like, oh, we watched the film. This guy's a top 10 pick. So
Yeah, because you come from a run first offense who has a great.
You know who else?
defense.
you know who else came from a run first great defense offense?
Who?
Everyone
Peyton
out of
Manning.
Alabama.
Yeah, every
Manning.
single Yeah, so
Any
basically,
quarterback that's come from
Mac
Alabama.
Jones, AJ McCarron, just keep listing them off.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay, that's what I said before. I said, I just okay. It's cool. Like it's awesome. Like I love that everybody's hyping on JJ McCarthy right now. But come on,
I don't
dude.
know. I
Over
like
over
it.
Jaden Daniels
Jaden.
and Drake May,
Not over Jaden Daniels. Nobody over Jaden Daniels. I don't think you should go.
but
number
over
2.
Drake
I
May
like-
too.
But
Yeah,
hold
I
on,
could-
Brennan.
I didn't even like watching Drake May's
I could.
film,
I could
but
go
I'm
over Drake
but
May.
looking at his
Brennan.
but looking at his size and like just
He's
every
like 6'2", 210,
If
215.
he goes at number 2, though, he is being chosen over Jaden Daniels.
I know. I'm not agreeing that he should. I'm agreeing that
Oh,
it's
okay.
possible.
I'm
But
just,
okay,
I'm just
okay.
saying whoever his hype man is, give him a fucking raise because he's he should get paid just like JJ McCarthy's about.
Okay, so another rumor going around that the Week 1 Philadelphia Eagles game will be held in Sao Paulo for the first time ever in Brazil. That's the first ever NFL game in Brazil. This has been known for about a month and a half now. The rumor is that the Browns or the Packers will face the Eagles. Who would you guys rather see? One answer.
Browns.
I'm gonna say Packers.
Okay. I'd rather see him play the Packers. Not gonna lie. I'd rather watch the Packers lose on national TV. That's all it is for me. Another side note, little tidbit: L'Jarius Sneed got traded last week. We went over that, but he signed a 4-year, $76 million extension with $55 million guaranteed. And I know that's a lot of money to a cornerback. And I'm gonna say this right now, guys. I don't like paying cornerbacks because they have a tendency to have high peaks and fall off very quickly. Circa Stephon Gilmore, circa Xavier Rhodes, circa, lots of guys. So granted, there are the Darrelle Revises and the Deion Sanders and those guys, the Charles Woodsons, those guys who are generational and come along once every 10 years and play for a long, long time. Very amazing. But a lot of cornerbacks end up being really good for like a short period of time and then fall off heavily. So, I mean, what was the Carolina kid's name back in like 2015? Oh, why can't I think of his name? Had the rivalry with Odell.
Oh, Josh Norman.
Josh Norman,
Yep.
all pro one season and is like his third year, and everybody's like, "Oh, this dude's gonna be the next Darrelle Revis for the next 10 years." And then
Washington and just shit the bed.
Yeah, wash.
Yeah.
So
I do have a contract question though.
Yeah.
So because he was tagged, does Tennessee have him for 5 years, or does
no.
contract take
They
over
wash the
tag?
tag. So the way that works is, so if you franchise tag a player, that player has to sign the franchise tag to play under it. So he had not yet signed his tag, so he got traded and just did a brand new deal with the Titans.
Okay.
So it's a 4-year, $76 million deal, and that's what he's getting. What do you guys think about leaving the tush push in the NFL?
What do you mean leaving?
Like
They're not.
The
doing anything
NFL
about it.
decided they are. Sorry, the NFL owners got together and voted they are leaving the tush push alone. They are not banning it. They're going to let it roll. I think it's a good move because I don't think it's hazardous. Now, centers across the league may disagree with me, and I'm sure it doesn't feel great, but that's football. It doesn't feel great doing that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good idea to leave it, because if you don't like it, stop it.
No, I agree. Go ahead, Riley.
I guess I oppose both of you. I mean, I think if they're going to ban the hip drop tackle but still allow the offensive line to dive at the defense's knees.
Well, but they're not diving at their knees. It's, they're this far away from each other and they line up and hit. Like,
I think if you would go after the pod, I'll go and look at the film, but I don't believe that's the case. I think they're halfway chop blocking guys and just driving their feet through.
That's fair. I'd have to look at the film too. So So me and Spoon are on the it's okay thing. Riley doesn't like it. He thinks he
there's two questions about it. It's like, are they doing what Riley's doing? But did it also is that what is causing Jason Kelce to retire early? Maybe he's tired of the tush push.
No, he's not retiring early. He's 12 years into his career.
I mean, I'm just saying that he was still doing excellent in his 12th year. He probably still could have played like another year or two easily.
Maybe.
But is the tush push causing him to leave the NFL early? Who knows?
Potentially.
I do think him retiring will significantly slow down the success rate the Eagles have with it.
I can see that.
Very potentially. I could see that happening for sure. So, a couple newsworthy tidbits here before we get to the main attraction of the kickoff rule change. 2 NFL games this year on Christmas, and Christmas is on a Wednesday. So we will have 2 NFL Wednesday games this year on Christmas, which is kind of weird. I don't know how they're going to work that out scheduling wise, but I'm sure we'll find out. And then the trade deadline was moved to the Tuesday after week 9 instead of the Tuesday after week 8. So, with the season getting extended by 1 week a couple seasons ago, they've now adjusted that. And then the NFL is still Roger Goodell, I should say, is still looking into both the Eagles and Falcons tampering cases. So no new, revelations on that front. And then last little tidbit here is it's a shame Dalton's not here for this, but it looks like Dak is going to play out the last year of his contract and potentially even test free agency next year, from what the Cowboys are saying. And I know Spoon's not necessarily going to have a huge issue with that.
No, I don't at all.
Yeah.
I think he's already overpaid as is. So
yeah, but you say that, but like the top almost 15 quarterbacks are making over 40 million a year. So like if you're making 14 or 40 million a year, you're a top 15 quarterback. I think Dak's in that range.
Back to what I've said before, he is the second hardest salary cap hit player in the NFL. And he is not the second best player in the NFL, let alone the second best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but that's how it goes. It always gets reset by a not great, like Kirk Cousins reset it, Matt Stafford's reset it,
I get
Matt
that.
Ryan has reset it. So like it's never the top guy who resets it. It's always somebody else, and then the top guy breaks the record. You know what I mean? Pat Mahomes signed a $500,000.
But if you're not even a top 5 quarterback, arguably a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, he's in the 8 to 15 range.
I would say that. Yeah, you could put him in your top 10, but he's nowhere near top 5. Sorry,
you could make an argument that he's top 10, but you could also make an argument he's bottom 20.
You could.
So,
and that's why I still believe we're paying him too much, and I will always believe that we're paying him too much. We restructure his contract, which is what I was hoping for this offseason, and it hasn't happened yet. So,
all right. So right here,
let him play it out.
We're going to go ahead, and I have some stuff pulled up for us on the kickoff rule change. So I'm going to pull up a little screen share here.
Okay.
So right here, we have what the new kickoff will look like. Okay. So ball starts at the 35 where it always has started. It's always been there. And then the kicking team lines up in the kickoff start zone right here. So along the 40-yard line, that's their line of scrimmage. Okay. So 10 dudes along the 40-yard line. The receiving team then has the option to line up anywhere between the 30 and the 35. They just have to have 9 players at minimum in this zone. So you can have 2 returners if you want. Now, where things start to get a little interesting, the landing zone. The landing zone is from the 20-yard line to the goal line. And if any ball is caught in that zone, or the ball, well, if any ball is caught in that zone, it must be returned. There's no fair catch. There's no kneeling, nothing. It has to be returned. I mean, you can kneel, but you're going to get the ball right where you kneel. So it'd be kind of pointless. And so if any kick fails to reach the landing zone, it is treated as out of bounds on the spot. It goes straight to the 40-yard line like you kicked it out of bounds. So the next thing on the docket is in the end zone. It gets kind of funky. There are 2 different types of touchback. So the first type of touchback is if it lands in the landing zone and the receiver doesn't catch it, they let it drop, and then it rolls into the end zone, and they pick it up, they can kneel it for a touchback, or if it just stays there, it's a touchback. And that ball goes to the 20-yard line. So the old touchback rule, because it landed outside the end zone, then went into the end zone. The other kind is if they catch it in the end zone, or if it just lands in the end zone, or goes out of the back or the sides of the end zone, that is a 30-yard touchback. So the new touchback rule that we've been using for the past few years. So it is a little weird there, and some people will have some questions. But all you need to know is if it only ever touches the end zone, it's a 30-yard touchback. And if it rolls into the end zone, it's a 20-yard touchback. So that's the main thing there. And then you can only onside kick in the fourth quarter, and you have to declare it. So you'll line up as an onside kick, and then you onside kick. So after that, last thing, the penalty assessed to the kickoff. So any penalty assessed on the kickoff will only affect the kicker. So the setup areas, the 40-yard line, the 30 to 35, the kicker's landing zone, everything stays the same. The only thing that changes is where the kicker is kicking the ball from. Do you guys have any questions?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that's the new kickoff rule. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a little too much, not enough?
So my first thought is that you can only onside kick in the fourth quarter. That's going to suck a little bit, because a lot of these teams, they do like to, like, we've seen several games where they like to take them by surprise, And to start the second half, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do an onside kick real quick."
The Saints in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's what sucks about it. But overall, let's bring the kickoff back to the NFL.
Yes, that's what
Let's
I'm
bring
saying.
it back.
I'm saying, dude.
And that's what I'm looking at overall. Like overall, fucking great. I love it. I think this is an excellent decision that the NFL finally made. I knew that they were eventually going to get to it because I saw it in the XFL. Correct? It wasn't in the
Yeah.
US.
So
It
the
was the
XFL's
XFL.
is a little different. Theirs is the 35 to 40 and on the
Right.
25.
But the XFL is
So-
what did this first, not the US.
Yes, the XFL. The
US.
XFL is what brought this to the attention of everybody, and they started it for
And
sure.
as soon as I started watching that, I was like, okay, this is actually fun. Like it's enjoyable. Like it brings the kickoff to the NFL.
Yeah.
And like
I
I,
think
said,
it's
the only downside is that the whole offsides, like, or not the offside, the onside kicks, like that
Yep.
might
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a
yeah.
little.
I
that might be
don't
a
even
little
care
bit,
about that.
but-
To be honest, I love it. I love everything about this move. I love everything about this move.
Yep.
It's, oh, and one last thing I didn't state. Nobody can move offensively or defensively until the returner has the ball or the ball hits the ground. So that's when the play starts. People can move when that happens. But I love everything about it. It takes into account all the things the NFL wants to shore up: the player safety, the no wedge blocks, the no double teams, everything that the NFL was worried about, it takes care of and gives us a feasible kickoff return that could result in game-changing plays. Love everything about it. Anything else from you guys?
No, I kind of agree with what Spoon was saying. I think the only downside of it is the onside kick part of it. But I
that's
also,
like a 0.1% of the time thing. So like I don't even.
but I also think this gets us closer to what's been talked about as far as a option between an onside kick and a 4th and 20.
Yeah. That's the next logical step, and it'll probably take the NFL another 10 years to get there. So
Yeah, no
we'll
kidding.
see.
I don't know. They're moving pretty quick,
That's
adapting
true.
this.
That's
So-
true.
Yeah.
Next up is I have compiled the list of Pro Football Focus's top 15 free agents still available. So if your favorite team is still in need of some, positional value in some areas, Cowboys, then these guys are available, and these are some good guys. So number one, we have Justin Simmons, free safety from the Broncos. Former Pro Bowler. Pretty sure he has an All-Pro to his name, so that's a huge guy that could go somewhere and make a difference. Then you have the Cowboys' own Stephon Gilmore. He can make some money somewhere. You have Steven Nelson, played for Houston last year, is their cornerback 2 across from Derek Stingley Jr. Good solid corner, step in just about anywhere and play. You have Connor Williams, the center from Miami, which we all know how well that offense was able to run the ball last year. So, that won't hurt you. Jadeveon Clowney's still a free agent. Xavier Howard from Miami, they cut him. He still has yet to sign anywhere. Former All-Pro, former Pro Bowler, but he's, like I said, with those cornerbacks, he's another example that was elite for a little bit and then fell off. So who knows where that goes. Mekhi Beckman, tackle from the Jets, he could still land somewhere. Dalton Reisner from the Vikings, good solid guard. Julian Blackmon, safety out of Indianapolis, not a huge name, but a very solid guy, great tackler for Indy. So another name to watch out for. Ryan Tannehill could land a backup job somewhere. At 11, we have Odell Beckham, who's had, there's some steam with the Dolphins there. But the Dolphins, it was reported by multiple sources that the Dolphins had offered OBJ a contract. But then Mike McDaniel came out and said straight up, no, we have not offered him a formal contract yet. T.R. Tart, defensive tackle out of Houston last year. That defense played really well. DeMeco Ryans knows what he's doing down there. So I don't see why he's unsigned. Tyler Boyd, Adoree Jackson, and last but not least, I didn't even know this guy was a free agent. Calais Campbell is a free agent right now. Like, how is he not on a team somewhere? Like, that's a veteran, stud interior defensive lineman. And even if he's not what he once was, I mean, just having that guy in the locker room's got to be good for you.
Oh.
So if your team is in need of any of those positions, free safety, corner, center, DN, tackle, guard, safety, wide receiver. Yeah,
Did
any
you
of
say
those.
Tyler Boyd's still available too?
Yeah,
right?
Tyler Boyd, I did say him. So
Okay.
it is a,
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked all those names are out there. So if you
Yeah.
need help and your team needs help, fear not. There is still talent out there
We
to
do.
be had.
We do.
Alrighty, boys.
We need help.
Last thing I got for us today, stop share there, is a couple of comparisons.
Okay.
So first one's up. I'm gonna go ahead and share this guy. We're gonna do it this way.
I suck. I suck at these. Let's
So
bring it
here's
out
the
though.
first one, okay?
Okay.
So the first one I got here is 2 quarterbacks. And it's per game stats here because they played a lot of games between the two of them, but one definitely played more than the other. Quarterback A played 188 games, quarterback B only played 124. So a good size difference there. So I split it up into per game because it's a lot closer than people realize.
Okay.
Is there any way you can zoom in on it a bit?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
I
you're
do
good
not
on my
think
end.
it allows.
All right.
I mean, I can try. Nope. That's not what we want. That just takes us away. So total yardage, quarterback A is at 260.43. Quarterback B is at 263 on the nose. So, not a huge difference there. Passing touchdowns per game, quarterback A is at 1.78. Quarterback B is 1.68. Not huge difference there. Interceptions, quarterback A is at a 0.56, whereas quarterback B is at a 1.03. So, little bit, twice as many interceptions. That's kind of big. In, 64 less games. Completion percentage, quarterback B takes that by a little over 1%. Passing yards per attempt, A is at 7.7, B is at 7.9. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Quarterback A played in 1 Super Bowl and won. Oh, no. I lied. Quarterback A played in 2 Super Bowls and went 1 for 2. So that's an incorrect number right there. It's 1 of 2. He's won 1 of 2. Quarterback B went 1 for 3. So played in 3 total Super Bowls and only won 1. Quarterback B has 2 MVPs and 2 All-Pros and a Super Bowl MVP. Quarterback A has 1 All-Pro out of those 3 stats. Also, quarterback A is 115 and 72 and 1 all-time. Quarterback B is a 67 and 49 all-time. So way better winning percentage over for quarterback A.
Okay.
Do you guys have any? I will give you one hint to start. Both of these quarterbacks played post 1996. And both of these quarterbacks, when they won the Super Bowl, had all-time great running backs.
All right. So my initial thought, first thing in my head, quarterback A is Russell Wilson.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding.
Let's go.
Quarterback A
Hey.
is Russell Wilson.
I'm so happy. I got one.
Yeah, you got one. You got it. You nailed it.
I shit the bed last week, so I'm so
Yeah.
happy to hit that one.
So quarterback A is Russell Wilson. Now,
Okay, so now it's quarterback
who is
B.
quarterback B?
Yeah, no, that's the
Who is a Russell Wilson-esque quarterback? Or is he Russell Wilson-esque and people just don't really correlate the two at all?
and he's been to 3 Super Bowls and won
He's-
1.
Played in
Yes.
3 Super Bowls, won 1.
That's tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Yeah,
Very tough.
There's not a whole lot of guys that come to mind with that. But I as soon as you said top tier running back or Hall of Fame running back, I immediately thought, oh, Marshawn Lynch, Russell
Yep.
Wilson. That's it.
He was the last all-time great running back to win a Super Bowl, actually. So, Yeah. And both of these guys did not play each other, but played in the same division for the majority of their careers.
Okay.
And then I have one last hint, but it'll probably give it away.
No, don't give it away. Honestly, the Super Bowls is what I'm trying to think of right now. I'm trying to think of what quarterback played in 3 and only won 1 of them.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot to come to mind.
There's not. There's
Boy.
not. All right, you ready for the hint?
Riley,
that
you
might
got to
give it
guess?
away?
Man,
10,
like this
not
should
any
be
good
e-
ones.
I feel like this should be easier than it is.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3,
Carson Palmer.
2. Close. Close. He did play for the Cardinals and went to the Super Bowl with the Cardinals.
Kurt Warner?
Kurt
Warner is who it is.
Warner.
Yeah.
He played in 2 Super Bowls with the Rams, lost one to the Patriots, beat the Titans as we watched earlier, and then he also played in the Super Bowl against the Steelers with the Cardinals. So, yes, Kurt Warner is quarterback B, Russell Wilson is quarterback A, and I like most people when I think of Kurt Warner, I think of this like elite level pocket passer who never strayed, undrafted guy and made a living off his arm alone. And when you look at the numbers, I mean, they're not that dissimilar per game.
Nope.
And even if you follow their careers, both of them were great with their first teams, poor with their second teams. Kurt Warner had a late career comeback with the Cardinals,
Yep.
and maybe Russ can do the
Do it
same
with
on
the
the
Steelers.
Steelers.
You can Russ do it with the Steelers.
Yeah, the very
I
Kurt
think
Warner.
so. That's what pisses me off. I feel like a lot of people right now are like just down bad on Russell Wilson, and I'm not at all. He was my
All right.
MVP like 2 weeks last year, so
All right. All right, I got another
I
one
think
for you boys.
he can still play very well.
All right. So I got another
All
one
right.
here for you. So
Ooh.
this is these 2 players' best season. Okay. This is their best season of their career. Both players, okay, played post the year 2000, and both were defensive backs. Okay. So going down the list here, quarterback A had 92 tackles his season, and DB
Corner.
Yeah, DB, defensive back, had 92 tackles. DBB, I'm just going to say A and B. I'm not going to say DBA, DBB. That sounds weird. So A had 92 tackles. B had 63 tackles. A played all 16 games that season. B played 14 games that season. Both of these fell within the 16-game schedule. A had 5 interceptions. B had 7 interceptions. A had 150 interception return yards and a touchdown. B had 101 interception return yards that season and a touchdown. A had 3 sacks. B had 1 sack. Both players had 1 forced fumble. A had 0 fumble recoveries, whereas B did recover 1 fumble that season. Now, here's the big thing. Defensive player B won the Defensive Player of the Year for that year, whereas A did not even receive a vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Passes defended. B had 2 more with 11. A had 9. Quarterback hits. A had 5. B had 2. And then tackles for a loss. A had 7. B had 6. So I think the big thing there for me is the similarities between these two. Obviously, one had more interceptions by a good number. One had more tackles by a good number. One had more sacks. One had more passes defense. One had more tackles for a loss. So very back and forth here. And it's crazy to me that when I looked this up, player A didn't even receive a vote for Defensive Player of the Year when B won Defensive Player of the Year. Any guesses on this?
Is it Sean Taylor and the guy from the Steelers?
Troy
What was-
Polamalu.
Yeah.
Which is
Is that player B?
Yeah. Player B is who?
Troy Polamalu. Is that who he's saying?
Ding
think
ding
that's
ding
his
ding
name.
ding ding ding.
Good shit, Riley.
You guys get another one.
That's
Troy
what he was saying.
Polamalu in 2010 won a Defensive Player of the Year award with the following stats. So that is in fact player B, but who is player A?
It's
Who
not
did
Sean
it?
Taylor.
It is not Sean Taylor, who didn't even receive a single Defensive Player of the Year vote for having arguably better stats. I mean, I'm not saying they're straight up better, but in a lot of areas, they're as good or better.
What year was A rookie? Give us a little better time span to work with.
Let me look it up real quick. Hold on. Everybody hold the horses. Hold on.
Yeah, because player A could be just about anybody, right?
I think I know
Yeah,
it is.
no, I was like, we have a 24-year.
I'm pretty
time
sure
span.
I know it's 2012, but I'm not 100%.
Okay.
It was 2012.
Oh. I'm not great with
This
The
so
different bag.
another thing. Player A didn't even make the Pro Bowl this year. He
these
didn't-
stats.
With these stats, didn't make a Pro Bowl,
God
no
damn.
All-Pro votes, and no Defensive Player of the Year votes. Didn't
What
get any of the
year
three.
did these stats come from? Do
Well,
you know
could
that?
just look that up.
No, we're not looking it up. Just tell us.
Okay,
What,
okay.
wait,
You're
you're
the-
2014.
okay. So I was in high school.
So we were
I was
graduating high school.
Who was good at safety the year I graduated? See, like that's what I'm thinking. I'm not looking it up. I'm thinking who was good at
I'll say this.
safety?
I
I'll
would
say
have been
this.
in what, junior
Like-
high?
Yeah.
Player you'd have been like 7th grade. Player A played at the same time as an all-time great safety. You guys know the year 2014, Earl Thomas. I'll give you hints.
Right.
Not Earl Thomas, but he played at the same time Earl Thomas played, and the Legion of Boom was big. So player
Cam
A,
Chancellor?
nope, not Cam Chancellor. So player A played in a time where there was a lot more focus on other DBs, therefore taking
Yeah.
a lot of the spotlight away from him. And I think if player A had played at a time where the Legion of Boom wasn't in their prime, I think he would have got a lot more recognition at that time.
Is it
Who he said
Harrison?
earlier?
Your safety?
Ding, 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 ding,
It
ding.
is.
Harrison
Yeah, good
Smith.
shit.
I knew
Riley.
it.
Harrison
As soon
Smith.
as you
It's on the
said
third
this
guess.
player, as soon as you said this player wasn't getting that much respect, I was like, oh, it's got to be.
Recognition.
It's got to be a
Rick-
Viking.
He-
Got to
well,
be a
he's-
Viking.
Well, you tell me these stats right here, and he didn't even make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
in the
no.
Pro
No,
Bowl's a
I
fucking
know. I agree.
popularity
I
contest.
see it.
Troy Polamalu and Harrison Smith's careers have been lined up side by side a lot of times, and they've been like, look, Harrison blows them away in almost every stat, and they've played very similar amount of games at this point in their career. And
Mhm.
Harrison Smith is by far the better statistical player. Now, obviously, Troy Polamalu has Super Bowl, Defensive Player of the Year, but I mean, the stats don't lie. They're very similar players. So, yeah, those are the defensive comparisons. Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about anything we've talked about? Anything you guys want to add?
No.
All
Not
right,
that I can
well,
think of.
If you stuck around this long, thank you all very much. We'll be sending out another Wide Eye mock draft this Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Notifications on, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff down below. We appreciate you, and we will see y'all next week.